Welcome to the 47th episode of Trollin HGC, a Heroes of the Storm podcast focused on esports and a member of the Trolls.gg Entertainment Network. I'm your host, LiQuid, and I'm joined today, as always, by Bahgz and GOONHOTS. How's it going, boys?
What's up?
Pretty good.
with that countdown, I was so tempted to do something silly, but I
saw you moving your head. That was silly. Throwing me off. And we're joined today by returning guest DBSmiley. How's it going?
Hello.
Other Skype sucks.
Yeah, other than Skype being wonderful as always. No, it's been going all right.
Awesome. So we got a packed show in that we are going to spend a lot of time talking about the Midseason Brawl, which starts this weekend. But before we jump into that, we're going to do our normal little housekeeping things, and Bahgz is going to talk to you about Patreon. Sorry, man.
Guys, Trolls.gg, we have a Patreon. It's shared with the Nexus Troll and all the Trolls.gg content creators. It allows you the opportunity to help contribute to our cause. You can donate $1 a month, earn early access to the show notes that way, or as well acquire priority in our after show viewer games, which we've recently unlocked. So also, if you hit Chieftain status by donating $10 a month or more, you'll get all the previous rewards, plus a special shout out at the end of each show. We're currently at 38 of our $150 a month goal, $38 of 150. So we're getting there. We might squeeze in an easier number.
We're squeezing one in.
as a second goal as opposed to 150. But at 150, we are planning on doing a call-in show where once a month we'll host a call-in show where the viewers and listeners can call in with your questions for the trolls. LiQuid, who's this week's Troll of the Week?
So this week's Troll of the Week is somebody that I actually have worked with for the last probably year over at Heroes Hype. She also is going to be on Gankbush Squad this week. I don't know why Bacon's not even here, but I'm still talking about Gankbush Squad. And she cast Bush League last night. Goon was going to cast but had to run out and take care of some stuff. So Cat Peach jumped in and cast the first semifinal game between Team 4 and Tower Baron Squared. Did a great job last night, and in general was just an all-around great Heroes of the Storm person. So Cat Peach is our Troll of the Week this week.
That's awesome. How so Bush League's winding down, huh?
2 weeks left. There's this week, next week, which will be semifinal 2, and then the week after that will be the finals, and then Bush League Season 1 will officially be complete.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So it's a good time. It's been fun so far. We've done a lot of casting.
How has your team been doing, LiQuid?
We are done.
So you were eliminated last night.
We won one game this season.
Well, at least you didn't Detroit Lion it.
Right. They won one, and then we got eliminated last night. It's cool though. Like, you know what? The whole point for me was I just wanted like a weekly. I'm gonna hang out with my friends and play Heroes. Like I didn't really care how much we won or how often we play. Like, it wasn't. It's all good. I had fun. I had a good time last night, even though we lost. I landed a sick 4-person mosh pit, only to have it interrupted just as we were getting ready to turn the game around. Joanna threw out a condemn as I slid in, and I didn't notice until after mosh was going. And it popped me, and yeah,
feels bad, man.
For those of you unfamiliar, the Nexus Trolls and Gankbush Squad put together what is a really really casual, friendly league similar to Chair League, called Bush League. That they one game a week, literally one game, right? It's not even a best of 3; it's just one game.
One game.
Yep, one game a week, and they've been working. This has been going since what, April or March, something, right? Like something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, kudos to Daz, who is the real brainchild behind this, between him and Fringe, and putting that together. So I'm looking forward to season 2.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I might come out of retirement for it.
If you're out there listening, get your buddies in, get them all in. It's free, no charge. The only price you gotta pay is probably getting clowned on while we're casting. That's about it.
Right? It's totally. This is not to knock other amateur tournaments, because NGS and Heroes Hearth both do great jobs, and so did Chair League when it was around until the weirdness. But like, this is more of it's much smaller, and it's totally like you just want to fool around. Like, some people took it a little more seriously. We're encouraging them to maybe look at NGS next season. Some people took it the perfect amount of seriousness, which was I'm gonna drink a beer while playing HOTS with my friends. That's what it's really there for. So follow our Twitter for news on it. I like, Goon was calling it for the longest time the underground of Heroes of the Storm, and I still think it is.
Yeah.
That's like, that's what it's there for. It's just there to have fun. So, yeah.
Sorry,
Awesome.
there's a storm outside, so if I DC at some point, look, that lightning strike was very, very close. What I was just going to say to that was it's kind of funny where Nexus Gaming Series is being kind of stated as serious, just because I was with this league when it started last summer, and we're finishing season 4 now, and it's over 100 teams.
Yep.
So it's crazy the kind of growth we've had in that. If you're looking for kind of a more serious, but certainly not like HGC Open serious, you want a group where you can play against like other silvers if you're in silver or something like that, or plat or even masters. We have leagues for that. Sorry, I have to sell that out. Otherwise,
No, you do.
I was
waiting
for that.
Angry
whispers on Discord. Like, why haven't you advertised that? So I actually took.
Dang, they're running a hard ship out there, man.
Yeah. No. So I actually took season 4 off playing and just focused on casting, but trying to get back into playing the support role. So
No, I mean, I mentioned NGS because I figured you would say something about it.
Yeah.
And NGS, it's an awesome group of people. They really are. So definitely check them out if you want something more than just, I'm going to chill with my 4 buddies and drink a beer and watch the caster laugh at me. Because there's a lot of that. And
no, I try to be ultra hype caster.
No.
Oh no!
I'm talking about Bush League, man.
Yeah, no. And no. We will laugh at you. We will make fun of you. That's what we do.
It's all about being funny. So, all right. You guys want to talk some news? There's only a little bit of news, but I think we should talk about it.
Let's do it.
I'm down.
Awesome. All right. So Diablo, little tweet went out a little while ago. Heroes eSports. Diablo is now allowed with Lightning Breath at Midseason Brawl. So, what was it, like 4 days ago? We went from Diablo is no longer allowed to today Diablo is now allowed.
Well, it was Diablo is allowed. Lightning Breath is canceled, which means Diablo wasn't going to be played anyways.
I think he would have been played. I don't think he would have been played nearly top priority.
Right. He might have been picked up. Like, if you look, I say this without looking at scrims because I'm not looking at scrims. Most people are not taking APOC. They're taking Lightning Breath. So if you eliminate Lightning Breath, then it's like, well, do I really want him with APOC, or what do I do here? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be super frustrating It's great for us as viewers and fans, of HGC to be like, yeah, we need to see some Lightning Breath Diablo, but that's got to be so infuriating for the players. Like, you get told that you've been scrimming with this new Diablo Lightning Breath spell power increase on your W. You want to play Diablo, and then they say you can't pick that talent anymore. So then you stop scrimming with it, and then all of a sudden they tell you, oh, by the way, you can play with it. So now you're like, well, what the hell? What are we gonna do?
Now, I have a really small sample size, but I think the pros are gonna like it because Hasawabs gave a thumbs up response to their tweet.
I mean,
Hasawabs is still on Team LiQuiuD, right?
Yeah, I was.
Are they going to MSB?
It was really, really tongue in cheek, and no, they're not.
Which is why.
Just felt that had to be mentioned.
It definitely needed to be mentioned because Bahgz was trying to sneak it in there.
I mean, it's definitely pretty annoying, pretty frustrating for the players, I would say, and coach, everybody, because they've been playing with it and then they can't play with it. But we'll see Diablo. We'll definitely see him. We'll definitely see the Lightning Breath. They'll bring it out. Yeah, they probably haven't been scrimming with it, but you know what? The old. I guess the only thing that happens in the Nexus, whenever somebody gets changed, you don't play them anymore, and all of a sudden they come back. People forgot how to play against ETC Mosh, and you're like, wait, what happened? Maybe that's what's gonna happen. They forgot how to play against Diablo in those 4 days, and we'll see them wreaking havoc at the MSB. But.
There's no pros that have commented on the fact that that's now allowed so far. So, grain of salt. Other than Haswabs, which clearly doesn't.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna be pretty like whatever about it, right? They're not gonna be like, oh my god, yes, finally we can run our strats now. They're not gonna be saying anything like that on Twitter, right?
Right. No, that's true. That's true. You would hope. I mean, have you seen NA recently? I'm not so sure about that. Although to be fair, it's not like, well, no, because Tempo and Team 12 got into it a little over Justin posting his video. So I guess even those teams are getting into it a little. Yeah, let's move on instead. So Quacknix posted a tweet longer early. I always call it tweet longer for some reason. Anyway, because that's the name of the website. He posted a tweet longer explaining why he left Fnatic or was removed. And he's quite blunt about the fact that he was removed and the fact that it's on him. Like, he wasn't doing the things he needed to do. Did you guys get a chance to read that at all?
I did. I did. Okay. He was very honest about the whole thing and very transparent with it. And to me, that is a sign of a player that understands what his weaknesses are and understands what he's going to do to strengthen those areas and become a better player, a better teammate.
Right.
And Windows wants to update on my computer. But I will not let it.
I'm having flashbacks of like 3 weeks ago. Don't let it, man. Don't let it.
Oh boy.
Oh, that show was rough. No, I agree with you. I think he was really honest, and he was like, these are the reasons that I left. I'm still happy with everybody. They're still happy with me. It wasn't working. So I thought it was honest and clear, right? There was no scapegoating. There was no anything else.
Wasn't the drama that everybody was hoping was hoping to see, right? I mean, it was cool. It was fine.
It was. I just finished reading it, and like you've already mentioned, it's very forthright. It's very, very self-reflective. It's really well done. As far as, I don't know, being self-aware and just taking it on the chin and just taking responsibility for the poor performance we've gotten out of Fnatic this first phase, right? He just basically admits to that he did not adapt to the flex role, and that was on him. He wasn't playing enough, dedicating enough time to the game like he should have been, as well as, increasing his hero pool as, he going to the flex role, right? So, but he also, pointed out that he's been burnt out. He's been struggling with that, and it's just he hasn't been able to get through it, which just leads to more stress and pressure with the team because, as the captain, it's his job to kind of like steer their ship, right? And you set the tone and you set the example, and he wasn't doing that, and he recognizes that, and it just made things exacerbated the problems they were having. So,
yes.
Well wrote is what I got out of it.
Okay. All right. Reddit, our favorite place, Reddit. Reddit has a prediction challenge, which actually this is pretty cool. I put a link to it in the show notes. Right now it's got the group stage up there. You basically pick who's going to get 2, who's going to get 1-1, and put it in there. They're giving away prizes. Awesome little thing. Like, go support our community. That's really weird to say it that way, but do that. Like, go put your picks in, compete, see how you do. We'll figure out a way that we can compare viewers to us too. I mean, we do it every other time.
Isn't there a prize associated with this?
There are definitely prizes. Yep. In fact, they posted the prizes today. So I actually got my picks in last week when they first posted it. But now they got the picks in, or they got the prizes in today. They're giving away 2 Diva plus Destroyer bundles, some Magni Murden with Murden, Kaijo Diablo with Diablo, and Kerrigan Succubus Kerrigan. And you can win those by either having the most points in the entire contest, the most points in the group stage, most points in the playoffs, including the grand final, second most points in the entire contest, and third most points in the entire contest. And they go through and they list out like how you'll get points, how everything will work out. So it's really cool. It's a interesting little thing to do until we see MasterLeague.net's challenge start back up on with Team LiQuiuD, and that's supposed to be in phase 2. So this will be the only real phase 1 contest that's rolling. So definitely check that out and get your picks in. And you have to have a Reddit ID, Reddit account to participate, because it requires you to log in with Reddit. So yeah, just make sure you have a Reddit account.
I got my picks in earlier. I was glad to see that you retweeted that.
And there'll be like, there's going to be a leaderboard, right? So like, if you're a viewer of the show and you want to compete with us, tweet us names, and we'll do it just the same way we did the regular challenge, right? Next week we'll go over standings and who's where.
Yep.
So yeah, just let us know. Hit us up on Discord, whatever. Doesn't matter. Cool. Okay. That's all I got for news, man. It was a light news week. It's always a light week when we're in like the down period between international tournaments.
Yeah. I mean, it's a light news week as far as HGC is concerned, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge news week. Like Thursday, your show is jam-packed, bro.
I can't wait, baby.
I'm like, Thursday, you got an Alteric Valley. Like, what? Yeah, buddy.
Wait. That
was a really good map.
Oh, wait.
I like it.
Oh no, we're gonna be talking about something else all the time. But hey, thanks for. I'm just kidding. No,
wait, what? No. I was gonna say, man, how do you miss that?
No, we're definitely getting into that.
Yeah, check out the Nexus Trolls on Thursday. They're gonna go over Alteric Valley. Urel, I'm sure she'll be talked about, right?
Yep.
All the new stuff. There's a ton of changes too, man. My head exploded when I was reading all those patch notes. So slow HGC week means fast content week. Cool. We have no results to go over, obviously, because, no games. So do you have more you want to talk about with the will they, won't they Diablo Lightning Breath, or you think we're good there and we can jump into the meat?
No, let's go ahead and jump into the meat. Let's do it.
All right. Midseason Brawl. I cannot wait. It starts Saturday. Friday? What's the night? Saturday. Thank you. I knew the date, didn't know the day. Starting the 9th, we have some killer casters. We got Dreadnought and Gilly back. J-How, Caldor, Trixler, Wolf, Tetcher, and Skimmy. They also picked an analyst, and now I'm going blank on that person's name. And Heku is going to be doing all of the interviews.
Yeah.
Yep. And Claris will be doing show hosting. So great, Tetcher. No, you know what? Tetcher's going to be there. I don't know if he's going to be the only one doing the analyze. Like, they're not going to have Ulset. What I meant is they might have a dedicated analyst, like they've used Fan before.
Is Grubby going to be there at all, or did they announce if he was going, or is he kind of taking a back seat on?
Grubby's not listed on this one.
The talent is no Grubby. I'm looking at it on Wikipedia now.
Yeah, so am I. And yeah, Soken saying Grubby can't go, so no Grubby this time. But yeah, it's like it's quality talent. Like, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
For who we have going this year, and I can't wait to start seeing the games, because I feel like my weekends do not feel normal right now. Like, there's no HGC on, it doesn't feel right. But that's not what people care about. People don't want to hear us just chit chat about, the amazing talent that's going to be there. What they really want to know is who's going to win. So let's start with Group A and just talk about who's in the group. So we got Genji Esports. I hate that name, but that is the new name of KSV Black. We got
the new name for all of KSV as an org. They rebranded.
I know, and I hate it. I hate it. I just really do. I don't know why, but I do. How is that not allowed, Schizophrenic? That's just rough. Hey, Nabby. All right, I'm gonna fix that real quick. Or no, I'm not. Never mind. I'll fix it later. Tempo Storm, Fnatic, The One, Ballistics, and Mind Freak. What do people think? You know what? Let's start with DBSmiley. No pressure.
Wait, what do I think about, just the
group in general?
Okay.
Yep.
You have to start with the fact that you have just due to the way the Korean playoffs worked out, you actually have the top 2 teams in Korea in the same group, in Gen.G and in Ballistics. So Tempest actually beat Ballistics in the seeding matchup, but I think most people would still say Ballistics is a better team. From there, you have Tempo Storm has been the best NA team over Phase 1, although you can make an argument that HHE was better over the second half of the phase. You have Fnatic, which, finished second in Europe, but certainly I don't think most people would say they were super impressed. From there, you have The One is the Chinese representative and Mindfreak the ANZ representative. Of course, generally we haven't seen the best performance out of minor regions. I think actually, was it Nomia who managed to actually get to losers bracket over a Chinese team? I think it was because it was SPT and they had like 3 subs because China at international events. But honestly, when I look at this phase, when you consider, like, yes, it's, Quack said in his Twit Longer, like, even with the roster subs, the team's in a good place, that he thinks they'll play well. You still look at this region, and it's very, very hard for me to not see Gen.G and Ballistics taking the winners bracket slots. From there, I think it could be Tempo Storm taking 3rd, but I'm still personally favoring Fnatic. I mean, when we talk about my ELO projections later, like Fnatic has a much higher ELO, but it doesn't take into account things like roster swaps that are ongoing. And then from there, that would put China and Mindfreak in the eliminated slot.
I think China definitely. I feel bad saying this because I actually like Chinese teams, but I think China definitely is in that same slot. I think Mindfreak can beat The One. I don't think Mindfreak can beat anybody else in that group.
Right.
So
I think they could take a map maybe off of Fnatic or Tempo Storm, but I don't think that they could actually challenge to make top 4.
Really, you think even a map? I don't think they'll take a map out of those teams, but they will. I think they will destroy The One personally, but
I don't think they'll destroy them. I think they'll 2-0 them, but I think they'll be close games.
I don't know.
Honest question: do we know anything about China's visa issues? If there are any,
No issues right now.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
issues.
okay.
Like,
According to there was a tweet yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
There was a tweet yesterday that said so far it looks like all the visas worked out, so everybody should be in place.
Awesome. That makes me very happy. I mean, I still fully expect China to get like lambasted or lambasted. But, lambasted. I fully expected them to get like destroyed, but I'm very happy that it'll be like full squad. You know what I mean? So at least we have they put their best foot forward. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
So very happy to hear.
Well, we'll finally see what they can do as them, right?
As
a whole unit.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Agreed.
That's the word I was looking for.
I'm still incredibly skeptical. At this point, I don't believe a Chinese team gets out of groups.
After what happened last year at Midseason Brawl, at Gold Club, at BlizzCon, I have zero. I have like the bar is so low right now that all they could do is impress me. They wouldn't be able to disappoint me.
I think there's a good reason for that, though. And it's because China has, as a region, had all the good teams leave for other. Like, there's this mobile MMO that Chinese developed. And again, like, I'm not even pointing that at Blizzard and saying like, oh, you guys did something wrong. No, it was like this company is massively in the red, just trying to get any esport athlete with name recognition, and they can't compete with League of Legends or Dota 2, but they can certainly throw enough money out there to draw someone away from the $10,000 salary for 6 months that Blizzard threw at you. So I think just because of all the people leaving the scene specifically in China, when a bunch of good players left Korea, KSV Black still did fine, but teams below them struggled in the international play.
Right.
Now we're seeing some of those newer pros develop, but also we're seeing some come back, like Mary Day and that. We haven't seen these teams come back in China. And so there's a reason China is... Yeah, no, eStar did great at Midseason Brawl. Do you know what game eStar is playing right now? Because it's not hot.
It's not hot.
like if that eStar team were at this MSB, and if they were in... Because they'd be in Group B, they'd take the number 1 seed. They'd be in a group with Dignitas, with Tempest, with Heroestars. That would be one of the best groups I could imagine. Because you have a lot of very clash of styles in that group. CE is kind of like eStar, but they're like eStar if eStar wasn't good at being eStar.
They're like eStar Light. eStar Light.
I mean, they're not... Like, keep in mind, eStar is the team that broke out, like, 0 tank comps on Sky Temple, and they lived on the side of the enemy team's map, and nobody could figure out how to deal with it until playoffs.
Right.
So, like, they were legitimately a great team. And they're not in China anymore, and neither are a lot of the great teams or even the great players. And that's why China's struggling. And I don't expect that to change here. I don't see China. I don't see either team getting out of groups unless, like, someone... What I don't know the language criteria here. Let's say poos the bed.
You could have used the other word, but that works too. No, and I agree. Well, all right. So, Goon, anything you want to add to Group A?
Tempo Storm all the way, baby. Tempo Storm all the way. Nah. I think. Oh, man. I want to say I want to see, like, we're going to see some close games between Tempo Storm and these Korean teams, but I don't know. I'm hoping. I really don't have a whole lot of proof or a whole lot to, like, kind of use as an example as far as, like, Tempo Storm games are concerned, because, I mean, we see last time we saw them, I mean, well, I guess we saw them at the Western Clash, but, you know, BlizzCon was the last time on a huge international stage, and, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see now, too, though.
It is a different team. It is a different team. It is a different team, for sure. But I think they can go... Out of the Korean teams, I think Ballistics will probably be one that they go toe-to-toe with, I feel.
Okay.
Gen G, better luck next time.
I think Gen G takes everybody in the group.
Yeah.
I
think Tempo Storm will actually beat Fnatic pretty...
I think Fnatic's going to surprise everybody.
So this is the part where I have to interject. Don't just look at the group, look at the schedule, because Tempo Storm actually kind of got not the best draw. Mm-hmm. And here's why. Tempo Storm has to play 3 games over the first 2 days.
Yeah.
Because it's not 6 games a day. There's some days with 8 games, some days with 4. But Tempo Storm has to play Ballistics and again, I'm basing this off Eastern time, not European time.
Right. Because that's how we roll here.
Well, that's just what the time is set to, and I don't have a converter handy. So it's 3:30 p.m. Eastern is when they play. 3 p.m. I should say 3:30 p.m. They play Ballistics. The next day at 8 o'clock a.m. they open the day against Gen G. So they play 2 Korean teams in about a 15-hour span. And then they have to play Fnatic at 5 p.m. that day. So that means that they have to wake up. I mean, let's be generous and say 2 hours beforehand, which is just not accurate. So they have to wake up 6 a.m. Eastern time. Now, they're a West Coast team, so that's 3 a.m. by their internal body clocks for the most part. And then they have to be up from 8 to 5, so that's, a good 9 hours. They have to be awake, 7.5 of which they're going to have to keep warmed up. It's going to be Gen G, let's be honest. If they pull a map, like, they'll be amped as hell, and they'll be able to ride that momentum. And I think they'll be able to keep themselves involved if they can take a map, and then they'll just demolish Fnatic. But Fnatic, they play at 2 p.m. that day. They play just a couple hours earlier. And so, like, you could actually, just because of the schedule, see Tempo Storm start, like, 1-5 and still make it out of groups. Just because of the way their schedule kind of lined up.
So
the other way to look at this not to jump in, to like jump
No,
all over
do
you,
it,
but
man,
the
do
other
it.
way to look at this is like so Tempo Storm arguably gets the easier Korean team up first, right? So you prep for ballistics, you take a map off them. Maybe you don't take two, but you take a map off them, you get your point, right? Then you're like, all right. We got to turn around and face Gen G tomorrow, first thing in the morning. Whatever, right? Like I'm sure they'll do a little prep. I'm sure they're gonna give it their best, but like that's the lower priority game because of the three, like this little gauntlet, these three games, right? And then you kind of like you come in as prepare as best you can for Fnatic because that is a much more beatable opponent, right? So you do some like I don't know.
So not the way they play though, man.
It's
not. Come on.
And then you come back later that day and you whoop up on Fnatic. I mean that's
all right, hold on. So for starters, Fnatic beats Tempo Storm in that match because of the schedule.
Tempo Storm's been boot camping over there already, so like
that bad.
Yeah,
so
but I mean,
there's some adjustment.
You gotta
already
also
happening.
factor in Fnatic is losing Quacknix and Bad Many too. So like, I mean, maybe they're giving it their all, but they already have their next spot. They're like their place on the next team they're playing on.
Yeah, exactly. How often have these guys been scrimming together as a full team, as five, as Fnatic, that roster that you're going to see, and not scrimming with their new teams? That's another thing.
I point out if momentum is a factor, Fnatic plays now. They also play 3 games, and really that's the important match for Tempo Storm. I mean, not to say like I think Ballistics is a very important match. I think Gen G is a very important match to gauge your strength, and you have to win one of those to get to winners bracket. Not take a map, win one of them to get to winners bracket. But the map that everyone, the match that everyone is circling in this group, presumably at least for the Western audiences, is of course Fnatic Tempo Storm because it's NA versus EU. NA's been stepping up. Fnatic looks like a vulnerable EU team. Both of them are at least on equal footing. They're playing 3 games. It's just that I think the actual time schedule is beneficial to Fnatic, and I also think Fnatic is going to be able to spend more effort focusing on Tempo Storm than Tempo Storm is going to be able to spend focusing on Fnatic, because Fnatic plays Mind Freak and they play the One. Now, I don't think they should overlook either of those teams by any means, of course.
Right.
But like this is MSB, and ANZ has actually gotten quite a bit better, and the One, China's been struggling, but they have a 5-man roster. So I think the schedule does line up where if momentum is enough of a factor, I think it helps Fnatic. That said, I don't think it makes a huge difference, although I do think just you have to be awake and keep yourself warmed up for 5.5 hours after your match with Gen G. I think that hurts Tempo Storm maybe a bit more than Fnatic does. I don't know. I could be completely misunderstanding how fatigue plays a role.
I want to poll you guys on a question I just popped in my head. Is ANZ the new 4th major region? Like, has ANZ surpassed China?
I don't think so.
Like, is like Mind Freak, like maybe not top to bottom, but is Mind Freak, the former Nomio roster, like better than China 1 through 8?
No.
Not
better
certainly
than China.
Certainly not top 4 of China. I don't think.
Yeah, 4 would be questionable. I was going to say 4 through 8. I think 1 through 3. No.
So by that logic, we don't think Mind Freak can beat the One.
I think they could take a map. I think I predict they take a map.
I think I'm with Goon on this one. I think Mind Freak's gonna
Mind Freak's gonna win. They're gonna win.
One. Yeah. I think they're gonna style all over the One.
That's their only chance to win.
I don't know if they can beat CE, but I think ANZ has really closed the gap, and that's how much China's faltered. So it's just interesting.
Here's why I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I mean, you know me. I want to see the minor regions do well. That's just who I am. I think if the minor regions can do well, then more people will put more money into the minor regions. Maybe we'll see it expand a little bit more. Maybe South America will finally get paid. But I do not think, for all the advances that ANZ has made with we have a Premier League, we have an open division, we're doing all the right things.
We send casters to internationals.
Because they speak English, dude. They speak English.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe.
Yeah, why don't we
know.
get Korean casters?
Like,
because
We do the same.
I mean, I guess
right?
technically we do. We get
Right. We get Wolf.
No. We get G Clef. We can get G Clef.
Right. And we do some. Are we this time? I don't know. Yeah, not this time. But
G Clef actually, that was a lie. G Clef, I don't think he's ever traveled. But
my point is, they're not there yet. They're closer, but they're not there yet. They're just not.
I think here's
that region has come a long way. I think it's making great strides.
I think here's the critical thing, though, and it's that a lot of a region's strength, I think, does depend largely on the overall audience in that region. And having a couple research partners who are Australian, who are also gamers I've talked to, I mean, the way they've described it to me is it reminds me of what people said when I was a kid, where it's just video games are, only lazy people do them. Granted, my parents still tell me that, but whatever. But it's there's not a very big population of players in ANZ. And it's things like, I'm sure you've seen the meme posts of like, oh, I waited 20,000 seconds for a Team League pop in ANZ and didn't get one. Like, you can have a league and that will help you set up scrims and that. But if you don't have something like Hero League to work on your individual skills that's reliable, I think that's going to significantly hurt you. I think the overall higher competitive nature of EU, specifically in Hero League, because I on Saturday mornings I play Hero League in EU because it's America and people are sleeping and I wake up at 6 a.m. for some reason. But so I'll play in EU, and I'm in about the same Hero League rank, but I can say that the potato complex seems much less common in Europe. It's certainly not gone, but I will say that in at least mid to high plat Hero League, Europe is better. And I've heard anecdotally that that's similar towards the higher end of the spectrum. So I think that's a big help to why EU does well. And I think until ANZ can get that, and I don't think they can get that in this game, I don't think they'll be a top 4 region.
What does the Chinese region then look like? Do we know? I mean, is there?
I don't know. They don't have. They don't use Twitter for obvious reasons.
I mean, I've seen Korean player streams where in those high level games there's Chinese players in there.
Chinese players join Korean, but Koreans can't join Chinese servers, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So
nobody outside China can join Chinese servers, if I remember correctly.
So I'm wondering. I mean, what we're seeing out of these Chinese pro teams, if they're just playing each other in scrims, if at all, and that's it. Do they even play Hero League? Do they even do? Is there even the same player base as the other regions in China? I don't know.
I mean, I would have to guess they do, but I would have to guess that just based.
Everybody else is playing Arena of Valor, man. That's what they're playing over there. They're playing Clash of Kings or whatever. Candy Crush. HGC Candy Crush. That's what they're playing over there.
HGC competitive Candy Crush.
Listen,
CCC.
It's a good time. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, so I don't know. Whatever. I think Mind Freak will just come out of the gates and we'll be like, whoa, that was cool. They looked good in the group stage. All right, we'll see you next year.
So you think they get out of group stage?
No. I don't think they get
not
out.
A chance.
Which is a shame because last year they did, so that group did. So it's a bummer, but it's a tough group. It's the tougher of the two.
I mean, does anyone not have the one and Mind Freak being eliminated?
No, I'm there with that.
Yeah. It's just I think we're at this point we're just arguing where they're going to be eliminated, right? Like,
well, I'm trying to get a sense of where everyone is. So let's flip it to the other side. Winners bracket. Does anyone have a non-Korean team in winners bracket for Group A?
No, it's Genji and Ballistics 1-2.
Yeah.
I think first, yes, 100%. the case. Well, 98.9% that's the case. There's a little tiny piece of me that thinks Tempo might be able to do something crazy.
Yeah, my heart says Tempo, but like...
Right,
yeah.
but like my brain is like, no, it's Gen.G and Ballistics. So, you know, like the logical side of me is like, nope, it's Korea the whole way.
The real spicy one is who's third and who's fourth. I mean, obviously, the consensus is Tempo Storm and Fnatic are going to the losers bracket together, but like, is this where like...
Here's what kills me.
Is this where NA like overtakes EU at least in this group, right?
Here's
like,
the thing that's gonna make DBSmiley's eye twitch. Because a minute ago I said my heart thinks Tempo Storm has a chance, but I really, really think Fnatic finishes third and Tempo's fourth. So like, try to figure that one out.
No, I mean I can see it. I think if Tempo Storm were an HHE slot in Group B, and we'll talk about it later, I think they could very easily have gotten winners bracket. I'm still just NA against Big 3 in Korea. The only time we've seen a win was Roll20 beating Tempest, who is definitively the third team in Korea. They're the third place of 3. And there's a pretty big gap historically between the two. Now, maybe that's changed. Maybe Ballistic has not improved as quickly as Tempo Storm has. I think what I would say is I would be surprised if Tempo Storm beat Ballistics. I would not be shocked. Whereas I would say that I was... Shocked maybe is too strong a word. I was very, very surprised when Roll20 beat Tempest. I would be less surprised if Tempo Storm beat Ballistics, but I would still be surprised.
Okay. I want to throw one last thing out here for Group A. The very last game of the group stage is the one versus Mind Freak.
Mm-hmm.
The very last game. So we're saving that little nugget of one of you is going to win here for that last game.
And it might be a completely
and it might still be a 1-1 tie.
I think the podcast is split, right? Like we are,
Goon
and I are in the Mind Freak camp, and you guys are in the one camp.
I think it's a 1-1. Actually, I think that ends up being a 1-1.
Mind Freak 2-0, man.
All right.
What's happening?
Okay.
I don't think it matters because both those teams are going to get eliminated, and they could both.
This
easily
guy's
have 0
sucking
points
the
entering
fun
that
out of it. Come on, man. Mind Freak. Mind Freak's they're not gonna be last. All right.
Well, that's a real question, right? What's the prize pool like? Is the prize pool going to? Is it smaller for the? Hold on.
Yeah, it's smaller for the. I think the bottom 4 teams actually all make the same amount.
Yes,
that includes
they
the
do.
people who lose out of losers.
Yep, that's why I just checked.
They each make 10K total, and I think the winners is what 100,000.
Winners 100, second is 50, third is 20, fourth is 20, and then 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th are 10.
Yeah.
And then 5K for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So the ones that get eliminated.
Oh no! So they do make The eliminated ones do make less. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's move. Well, do you want to talk some of your cool different models, or you want to go into Group B first, and then we'll come back to that?
I mean, we can mention it. What I would say is, before I get into anything, I kind of have to preface all the ELO numbers with Korea has the advantage that they get to play China in the Eastern Clash, and that artificially increases their win rate more because Clash games matter more than regular season games.
Right.
Because NA has actually improved, EU did not do as well against NA as Korea did against China. So I do think Korea's raw numbers are probably overrated, and I therefore also think Europe's are probably a little bit underrated. NA's, I'm still not entirely convinced they aren't where they should be. But so I guess what I would say is, I mean, given that, like, Gen.G eSports is by almost 150 the favorite in the entire tournament region, and according to that simulation, they're a 97% chance to make winners. Ballistics at about a 74. Fnatic, again, it doesn't take into account their subs, but they did play very well down the stretch despite the roster changes that unfolded. So they're sitting at 1685, so not that far below Ballistics. They're at like a 22% chance to make winners, but most likely they'll go to losers bracket, 68%. The interesting one is Tempo Storm and the One actually have very close ELO scores. And I'm not really sure why that happened, other than I think that the One got to inflate its ELO against a pretty weak China with a lot of new teams. And the way I factor in new teams, I think it probably, because there's so many new teams in China, I think it artificially boosted their ratings a bit.
Okay.
So I do think Tempo Storm is significantly better than the One, and my ELO ratings just don't reflect that. But there, it's Tempo Storm is almost a coin flip to go to losers, about 5% to go to winners, about a 45% to go to eliminated. But again, I think that overestimates the One's chances. And if you were to decrease the One's odds, those would pretty much all go towards Tempo Storm getting out via losers bracket.
Okay. So let me ask this. So given what how you feel about the various regions and Korea being stronger because of the clash, will we see a correction in the ELO coming out of Midseason Brawl if what we think will happen will actually happen?
So Midseason Brawl games matter even more than Clash. They actually matter as much as BlizzCon, and I prefer Midseason Brawl because it gives you a lot more inter-regional play than BlizzCon does, due to like the round robin style of the groups. You get to see in every group at least one team from each major region. So to that end, you actually get to see, 2 NA-EU matches. Actually, we get to see 3 NA-EU matches. You get to see, 3 matches between NA and Korea. You get to see, you get to see 2 matches between NA and China. So that's going to give a lot more value. But keep in mind also, so I've talked about this before, where the ELO numbers, you adjust them more from the clash, so that way it affects the region averages. And then once the teams go back to their regions and play through their regions, then the ELO is kind of more correct after that. Because immediately you kind of force the regions to overreact in terms of their average by making the games very important. And so, like, let's say Tempo Storm comes out and they lose, like not draw, but lose to the top 3 teams. They go to losers bracket, they drop out. Their ELO would drop almost certainly to like potentially the low 1400s, maybe, which would be absurd. Do you think like, oh, you lost to Gen G? Why you lost to Gen G Ballistics Fnatic? Why should you be like comparable to Simplicity and Team DJ? And that's not the goal of it. The goal of it is, okay, but it's actually NA's average that goes down, and then as Tempo Storm starts winning again in the next phase, this again, the hypothetical situation where they lose, I'm not saying it will happen. I don't think that will happen. But then their ELO goes up, but it doesn't go up as much because NA is just lower. Now, if NA comes out and does really well, Tempo Storm will leave with it. Let's say Tempo Storm just goes off and they make grand finals. I'm not even going to like tempt the fates and be like, oh, and they win. No. Like, let's say they pull some upsets and make grand finals, and then like I'll eat crow later if I'm wrong and they win it all. At that point, NA is clearly better. They're back to at the same tier as, not necessarily as a whole region, but the top of the region. They're at the same level as top teams from other regions. At which point, then their ratings go up, but probably higher than they should go up.
Right.
But that's, again, to be kind of the rising tide that lifts the average of NA. And then if they start to, again, like you see HHE and Octalysis continue to improve and take games off Tempo Storm, their ELO will go down slightly through the season. Not much, but slightly. But it will raise up Heroes Hearth and Octalysis even more.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. What are you apologizing for?
No, I rambled there with a lot of math stuff.
It's exactly what I was asking about. Yeah. All right, let's jump into Group B.
Yes.
Excuse me. Group B is Dignitas, CE, Tempest, Heroes Hearth, Method, and Luna Meow. And we're gonna start with Mr. I Look Fly in My Glasses, Bahgz. Bahgz has got his mic muted, so he can't say anything.
He can't see, we can't hear. Like
it's like Ray Charles up in here. So what I was trying to say is this group is spicy, and here's why. So Dignitas probably by far NOI the best team in this group. Arguably with Gen G and Ballistics, we were talking pre-show like which of these three is the best team in the world. Like it's probably Gen G is like the favorite right now, but Dig and Ballistics are both contenders. They are right there with them. But the rest of this group is really spicy, and the reason being is because it's a lot less tiered than Group A, right? So like everything was kind of cut and dry in Group A. In Group B, it's in Group B, it's a lot closer. And the reason why I say this is because Taiwan traditionally, and I'm not going to say that this is always the case, but traditionally of the minor regions always puts up a really good fight. They take some surprise matches off teams. There was a time, I think it was 2 years ago, BlizzCon 2016, where Please Buff Arthas like whooped up on was like Denial or something like that.
Yeah, it was Denial and actually at the Summer Championship, because that was before the current system, they beat Gale Force.
So again, Taiwan is a strong region as far as minor regions go. Method now of these three teams, of these four teams, it's CE, the best team from China, Tempest, Heroes Hearth, Method. One of those four teams is gonna be eliminated from this tournament, and that's. I mean, I think we can all safely say that it's probably going to be Luna Meow as well, but they're going to be tough. They're going to be probably like the X factor. They're going to take they're going to take some games off and cause one of these teams to lose points where they didn't expect to lose points. It's just
Method.
It's really
they beat Method.
It's a lot murkier here. Now to get to the point, I agree.
Well, go ahead.
I think I agree. I think Method's going to get eliminated. I don't think that they've been too inconsistent in EU HGC. They've got guys leaving from the roster. We don't know how much they've been scrimming together. We don't know how much the two guys leaving are going to have their full heart in it because, again, they are already locked into their new rosters, right? So it's not like Yoda last year who was trying out for a new team. They're already on their new roster. So I think Method is also the odd man out here. But it's interesting because, again, this is very competitive. Behind Dignitas, CE, Tempest, Heroes Hearth, and Method, those are four very competitive squads with Luna Meow being, close behind. So the question is at least for me, if Luna Meow's out, Method's out, that means CE's in. But how good is China? And I think they're worse than Heroes Hearth and Tempest. So that would put them fourth. I wouldn't be surprised CE to lose to Method either, man. This is it's a really spicy group. All these games are going to be fun to watch, and it's going to be really, really fun to see how this breaks down. So I've got the Heroes Hearth shirt on.
I know. I'm questioning, dude, this is digging HHE in the top.
Where am I going with this? Where am I going with this? And I'm going HHE second place behind Dig. Above Tempest, above CE.
Yes.
Calling it now.
I hate to say that. I'm
calling it now.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, though, because, damn, I like Tempest. But Dig HHE in the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, I think this is where, because of that, Korea had that seeding match between second and third, where it was already determined the big three were going, but it was who gets the second seed and who gets the third seed. And because Ballistics just didn't show up and they lost, they're in the same group as Group A. Tempest is in Group B. If you switch these, I think both of these groups switch. Group A becomes the interesting one because now you have Fnatic, Tempest, Tempo Storm. Which one of those goes to second place? It's an open season.
Right.
And so I think that's why we have that Group B. That said, I will say this. I actually do think Tempest is actually a pretty good team, and I think they've improved a lot this year. I still think they're easily the third place team in Korea on any given day. I wanted to come up with reasons to say I think Heroes Hearth could take second, and if I think Tempo Storm were in this group, I think Tempo Storm would, but I can't. I tried to get myself to do it, and I couldn't, so I'm still going with Dignitas, Tempest, top two. Then actually
That's fair.
Again, I said I think China is not good, and as many problems as Method has had, they've played in a tougher region. Europe top to bottom is still a very good region. And yeah, they lost some games that you don't want to lose, but they lost them to good teams. So I still think Method is better than CE. So yeah, I have both the minor regions and all three of the minor regions getting removed from the tournament via the elimination in group stage. Subtle shot at China there.
Yeah, it's
a little bit. Well, so I think so. Who do you think Method's going to end up in the 4th place slot?
I do think there'll actually be I think HHE will take a map off of Dig or Tempest. I really do. And I think they will beat every team below them. And so I could even see a situation where Tempest and Heroes Hearth are tied with each other. And then I think it goes to a runoff sudden death game to decide 2nd place versus 3rd place. I do have Method in 4th. I do have Dignitas in 1st. But I think it's between Tempest and Heroes Hearth. Any given day, I would say Tempest is the favorite. So if it went to a sudden death match, I'd probably take Tempest in it because they've been in a lot of crazy game 5s as a team.
Right.
So that would be a similar kind of experience. That said, I mean, I would be less surprised for Heroes Hearth to make winner's bracket than Tempo Storm. Not because I do think Tempo Storm will play better this tournament, but Tempo Storm has to play Genji and Ballistics.
So 3:30 Sunday, HHE Tempest.
Mm-hmm.
That's
big game, huge game.
Big game.
Huge
and then
game.
11 the next day, Dig HHE. I think I would like to see Heroes Hearth take 1 map off Dig. I know that's a stretch, but I would love to see that.
I believe, man. They've been playing so well. They really have. I believe.
Right. I yeah.
So, what about you, Goon? What do you think about Method and CE and that? Who's going and who's not, man?
I think Heroes Hearth is gonna beat out CE. My heart is speaking to me. Right, this is what it's saying. Tempo Storm HHE Grand Final. There it is, baby. I said it.
There's no way, dude. I'm sorry.
I was good.
Hey, what did I preface that with?
You said your heart. I know.
All right,
I know, man.
All right,
man.
all right. Let
I'm
a man
just saying,
dream.
like,
Let a man dream.
You can
Don't
dream.
put me down, man. What's wrong with
No, man. Come on. All right. You know what though? Navi brought up a good point. Dig has 2 games in day 1.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
That's not easy.
Yeah, one of them Tempest, one of them Method.
Yeah, and those are not easy outs. I mean, Tempest, again, like I said, I have them as the 2nd place team. And then Method is just you're playing a team in your division that knows you. Now, I think if Dignitas drops a map, it's going to be the Tempest. I don't think it's going to be the Method. But, maybe Method has gone to the books and figured out some reason, and maybe they're able to get enough synergy together to do it. I don't see it being too much of a challenge. I mean, at least as compared to when I was talking about Tempo Storm's issue, it's like 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock, so it's 6 hours, which is a long time to try to stay hot, but it's not.
It's not 8 a.m.
It's not 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Yeah.
Right. And then the next day they're playing again at 11, but or 12:30. So it's not. No, 11. I was right there for. Screw it.
Well, I don't think their schedule is as front loaded as Tempo Storm, who has to play 3 games over the first 2 days. So that's why it's much more similar to Fnatic to me, where it's they're mostly winnable games. There's a couple things you should watch out for, but it's nothing that I immediately oh god, Dignitas got screwed. I don't agree with that at all. I think there are teams that got far worse schedules in the first 2 days, namely Tempo Storm, than Dignitas did.
I mean, Luna Meow's probably not having a good time either.
Yeah, no, Luna Meow got. Well, Luna Meow, I mean, just I think if they're gonna win a match, they could win it in the first 2 days. But I mean, they play Heroes Hearth and Method in the first 2 days.
Who wants to open this? That's just the roughest one. Nobody wants to be the first game.
Yeah, but I would argue then that HHE, who then has to play Tempest the next day. And I mean, it's like, I don't think, I mean, the only team that I look at, and again, I'm like, oh man, that team really did not get a good draw. I mean, unless I'm missing something, is Method and Tempest Storm. Because Method, they have to play CE, then Dig like an hour and a half later, and then they have to get up early the next day to play Luna Meow. And they have to go like 4-2 in those games. And really, they have to get like 2 wins, because a win is worth 3 points, a draw is only worth 1. So, like, for them, that's very critical, but I still think Dignitas or Tempest Storm got the hardest out of any team over the first 2 days.
All right, LiQuid.
All right, LiQuid. What?
What do you got? Anything else for us with this group B?
I don't know that we've heard Goon's top 4 for Group B yet.
Yeah, my top 4.
We just heard Tempo Storm versus Heroes Hearth in the grand final.
Obviously, my heart, if that's the case, Heroes Hearth is at the top, right? I think it's gonna be Dignitas, Tempest, Heroes Hearth, Method. That's what I'm thinking.
Really?
Yeah.
You think Method gets by CE?
Yeah.
Okay.
Divergent. I have enough faith in CE with their full squad to crack top 4. But I might be wrong. I might regret that.
No. See, I'm with Bahgz. It comes down to, this is assuming they get their roster. Okay, so if they don't have all 5 players there, Method's in. But if all 5 players from CE show up, and not the day before the tournament start, like not Friday, but they're there on time and ready to go, CE takes Method.
I don't know, because I just feel like CE, I mean, China's going to China, right? And there's going to be a meta that develops over the course of this tournament, regardless of, you know, we can say, oh, we're bringing an NA meta, there's an EU, there's going to be a mid-season brawl meta. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And China, and I mean, I think China's just going to keep running what they know and not really adapt to what everybody else is doing. What do we see from Korea? They play a couple games, they've got it. They figured out, they know your weaknesses, they expose the chinks in the armor, and that's it. China, they're just going to keep doing whatever it is they do, and that's it. And I don't think it's going to work out.
I mean, we'll find out pretty early, right? Because they play each other 2 p.m. on day 1.
Day 1, yeah.
And that'll set the tone. That'll definitely set the tone for Method. But I think CE takes Method. But I get it. I hear what you're saying. I understand.
Yeah. No, I think like, this is just Goon and I are on the Method side. You two are on the CE side. So we'll see which one is right. I would be far more shocked if any of the other 3 teams we mentioned didn't end up in top 4. Like, if HHE came out and laid an egg, I would be really surprised.
Oh, yeah.
But that said, of the teams that I look at, I'm like, which one of these teams... Like, when I look at the tournament, I always look at, okay, which team could really, really surprise? And I say HHE. And then which team could really, really, really disappoint? And I say HHE. And I think it's just because they're still a younger... I mean, not younger in terms of HOTS experience, because Arthalon's been literally in HOTS forever. He was playing it before it was a game. But then Crone and McIntyre have been around a long time. You know, so, but at the same time, like, they had a meteoric rise this season, but the question is that how much of that is luck? Because we do know that NA had a lot of crazy upsets, and it got harder and harder to see as the year went on. Did Heroes Hearth pull an upset, or did they just beat a team clean? I mean, they beat teams clean, but was it, like, because the other team messed up, or was it because they're just that good? It got harder and harder to tell that as the season went on.
Right.
I mean, they have Cawthon Luck. They have Cawthon Luck as a coach, and Cawthon Luck has a lot of competitive experience and a lot of he's no stranger to any of this here as well. So I'm pretty sure a lot of the insight that he has is going to be really really important.
Yeah.
I feel like of all the teams, and I say this saying that Nabi has not been able to have the time to come on the show so that he could say that Dignitas is as well supported. but I feel like definitely out of all the teams in NA, if not all of the teams out there, Heroes Hearth probably has the best support structure for their players.
I mean, I can certainly agree with that. I just mean, it's not meant to be a slight on.
No, it's not.
It's just a matter of, I still think NA has been notoriously difficult to predict this season, and when you go 7-0, it's hard to say you got lucky 7 times.
Right.
But maybe they got lucky twice. I don't know.
Right. No, I totally understand what you're saying, and I agree with that, right? It's hard.
I don't think they did, but I'm just saying
it's hard to figure out how they rate against everybody else, especially since this will be the first time that roster's gone to a true international where it's not just EU versus NA, right? So
which they played well at Western Clash, I thought.
They absolutely did. They defied people's expectations and then continued to improve. And if you listen to them talk, they look at the team experience way differently than a lot of other people do, which I think will also help strengthen them as a team. Whether it does here or pay off at BlizzCon, it'll pay off by the end of the year, right? And like they'll just continue to keep doing better and better. And but that also sets them up for, you went 7-0 in NA and then you crashed and burned it at Midseason Brawl, right? So that's why it's like that's the biggest surprise or the biggest upset, right? Like it truly can go either way. But I'm looking forward to great things from them personally. So
all
right. Who's got something else? Because that was the end of Group B.
I mean, I guess I could go over like the stat stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, again, same caveats as before. I think so. Dignitas, it says they're 1810 and Tempest is 1733 in terms of elo. So that seems like pretty close, right? I do think, again, for the same reasons that the other Korean teams I think were a bit overrated. I think in terms of elo, I think Tempest is also in that boat. That said, I don't think they're incredibly overrated. I think they're somewhat. I think Dignitas is very underrated because they had a very difficult region, but they still play pretty well overall. So I would like right now I have Dignitas at 88.1% to winners bracket. I would expect that to be almost a lock. The big key is kind of like Tempest is currently set up as the favorite to make winners bracket beyond them, and there's about a 1 in 6 chance for CE or Heroes Hearth to take one of those slots. But the next 3 teams are all really close to each other, and really the next 4 teams are all kind of really close to each other. Tempest, again, because they're a bit inflated, they're much more favored to make winners bracket. But like CE, 53.6% chance to make losers bracket, Method 47.3, Heroes Hearth 52.9. Like they're all almost coin flips to where, according to the simulation, it's generally any 2 of those 3, but there's not one that stands out as an obvious favorite. I mean, Method has the lowest MMR of that group, or not MMR, lowest ELO of that group. So it's, again, I still think EU is a bit underrated. I still think the top teams in China are a bit overrated. So I still think it'll be the same top 4 I mentioned. Yeah. Dig, Tempest, HHE, and Method in that order.
Okay.
But my simulation says Dig, Tempest, CE, Heroes Hearth in that order. At least as the plurality simulation.
Right.
Who do you getting away from the group stages, looking at the big picture here? Who do you think, or who do you have projected as winning the whole thing?
Projected, by far Gen.G eSports, and that's just because. So they're at 1946 elo. Dignitas is at 1810. That 130 gap basically makes any single game, not a series, a single game, somewhere in the neighborhood of like Gen.G wins 2/3 of the time. So if you extrapolate that out over a best of 5 finals, or I guess a best of 7 with the person from winners bracket getting 1, like however you want to slice it, it's just there's a reason that you get the Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors in every NBA Finals. It's because they are the best teams in their regions, and whenever you have a best of 7, the best team is almost always going to win, even if it's only like 60-40 instead of like 75-25.
Right.
And so because of that, Gen G is a simulation-wise a prohibitive favorite. But again, I think they are actually much closer to Dignitas than the ELO has them. So keep in mind, the ELO is not, it's not something that I'm like, oh, I'm going to give this team this number. It's, here's the games that have happened, and here's what the math says their score is. But I think subjectively, you can say that the Eastern Clash artificially inflates Korea's score too much because their opponents are much weaker than EU's opponents in the Western Clash.
Yeah. I think my heart says NA. My heart says NA. But I think Dignitas is probably, for me anyway, as far as if I'm going to use my own statistics, I think Dignitas is probably poised to win this.
You know what the problem is I think I'm trying to figure out the bracket. I think so we're not going to see Dig versus Gen G until the winner's final.
Right.
Well, at least until bracket, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's possible, like, if Gen G dropped to second place, they would play Dig. If Dig were first place, they'd play them in the first. But most likely not until the winner's final.
Yeah. Right. Which is kind of a bummer, right? Because, like, that's the game I want to see. That's what's going to tell us how it's going to look.
I wouldn't sleep on Ballistics. I think I'm going to agree. I would agree with Goon. I think Dig, I think it's not their tournament to lose, but I think this is going to be their opportunity. And then we might see, projecting really far out, but I think it might be like a repeat of last year. You know, see EU win the MSB, and then Korea come back and take BlizzCon or something like that. You know, so I'm thinking it's Dig, but I don't want to sleep on Ballistics. Again, they won the Western Clash. Don't forget. They have it in them to pull that out and take down Gen G.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
And a best of 7, no less. And I don't think they have the winner's
the grand
advantage.
final, right? That's the grand final.
So the grand final is best of 7, but with the winner from winner's bracket being a one
game advantage.
Yeah, so they only have to win 3 games, whereas the loser's bracket winner has to win 4. So they would have to go 2. They'd have to win 4 and 2 from loser's bracket in order to win.
What I was saying is that's how Ballistics beat Gen G. They came from the loser's bracket and won.
Yeah.
4-2 at the Western Clash. So don't sleep on them. They're good.
No, absolutely. It'll be close. It's going to be a good tournament. Right? It's just a shame
I can't
wait so long.
It's between those 3 teams, honestly. So I'm excited to see how much NA has improved. I'm excited to see if Dig is better than the best 2 teams from Korea, because at BlizzCon and Gold Club, that wasn't the case. But this new Dig roster, now that it's had time to gel, it's scary. So I'm excited.
Right. Cool. All right. What else? What am I forgetting?
I don't think
I've gone Boulder.
I think
Nothing.
That's possible. I definitely have, but
no, I have.
That's a different.
Damn, I've got plenty over here. I've got plenty here. Shut up,
dude. That's enough out of you. No, all right. So, I mean, that might be it, right? Like that. The downside to not having a lot of games lately is there's not a lot to talk about. So you can only fill so much preview time.
I think
the bright side is like phase 2 literally starts right after MSB.
That's what kills me. Like,
I wish the break was on the other side of that.
Yes, the break's on the wrong side.
I think it's just for international travel management.
Yeah. Well, it's just they want to host the event at DreamHack, and DreamHack is when DreamHack is. You know.
Okay, but I would put forward that they screwed that up when they moved it back. When they moved the start of the season back 2 weeks. Because the schedule originally, there wouldn't have been such a large break. But then they're like, "Oh yeah, just kidding, haha. We're starting."
Is there a break before BlizzCon too?
Not as large of one, I don't think. No, actually, I think it might even be larger.
Oof.
It might
Oh
be
my
like the
Doesn't
season
just
ends like.
start the season later, and then you can push back phase 2, and it runs right. It would work perfectly. I don't.
Well,
listen,
again, I think they want to allow 3 weeks to allow the international travel side of it.
Yeah.
okay.
Let's see. The HGC playoffs are September 28th to October 1st. Yeah. No, there's not. It's not quite that long. October 25th. So yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
And again, that's just because of visa issues and things like that. I mean, that's the main reason it's that long.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, we got all of China there. No complaints.
The advantage is after BlizzCon, they can actually do the roster swaps after that and not during.
During.
I think ultimately, just to throw a controversial opinion completely unprompted out there, if HGC is going to continue to grow, eventually they have to move to whoever owns the team can swap rosters whenever they want. And the problem is that Blizzard is paying the players the bulk of the money, which is why that's not happening. But if HGC does get big, it will have to move towards that. And then maybe you have like a playoff deadline. But
yeah, you have to have a lock for playoffs.
But I mean, until they kind of move away from this, there's only 2 times a year you can change. There's a lot of detriment to that. Like, one of the things is newer players don't get a lot of chances because they're inherently a risk. And if you take a very small risk and it does not pay off, you are screwed for 6 months.
Yeah.
And because of that, this is why you're seeing players that some people may view as not amazing, but they hang around the scene a long time. Now, granted, it's also because they know what it actually takes day in, day out.
Sorry.
But
did I say that out loud?
No, I just mean this from a standpoint of.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
So
in fact, we had the same conversation last month with Hero Physio and QB, for the same reason, right? They can't take a chance on a new player because that player is then locked in for basically 6 months. It's not quite 6 months, but yeah.
Right.
So no, I get it. I totally get it.
What if the Midseason Brawl I don't know if you guys keep up with League of Legends at all, but they have the Midseason Invitational, MSI. It's kind of like their version of Midseason Brawl, but that thing lasts like over 2 weeks of just league of games. Man, could you imagine if Midseason Brawl was something like that, where it was just like, all right, for the next 2+ weeks, you're pumping them out, you're playing these games, you're seeing games all the time.
I don't think there's enough money in HGC to sustain that. I mean, I would love it, but the realistic side of me is like, but it'll never happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Never say never. Never say never. One day, maybe.
Look, I mean, we all want to see it happen. I do not see that ever happening. Sorry, man.
Yeah. I'm glad we get a week as much as we do. It's better than BlizzCon in terms of format.
Yeah, I would agree. So, cool. All right. Anything else?
No. As far as MSB is concerned, no.
No.
Well, anything else?
Oh, anything else?
Anything else?
Real quick, I just want to touch the amateur scene real fast.
Yep.
The Open Division's starting up soon. I think in the next month or so.
Yeah,
it's going to be starting up again. In the meantime, Heroes Hype they're doing their weekly tournaments again. So
amateur.
Yeah, Heroes Hype Amateur Series. If you are interested in that, check that out at the Heroes Hype website. Also, there are some interesting rosters developing in the amateur scene.
No.
So some teams to look out for. Reborn, of course. My boys at Reborn. Love you guys. And the roster that the E-Bros have come up with, Queen's Gambit. Be on the lookout for that. I don't want to give away their full roster yet. I want to let them do that if that's what they want to do. But it's gonna be spicy.
It is.
But that's about it. And then there's a Leave It Behind, which part of, which is some of the guys from Even in Death, I believe. But yeah. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
Also, NGS is still a thing. Don't forget that.
Yeah, yep. NGS.
Yeah, they're actually in season 4 playoffs now. So if you want to follow, there's actually, I mean, if you go to the NexusGamingSeries.com, you can find the Discord, and then that'll update you when it goes live. There's also a community for Nexus Gaming Series, so if you search for that community, you can find everyone who's casting at a time. So they're in playoffs for season 4, entering regional semifinals. So just as a note, a lot of the regions got split into East and West just to make time zones easier. So those are all happening now, and then the true semifinals will be next week, and then the finals are, I believe, June 20th, but I'm not certain on that. But then after that, I know season 5, if you want to get involved, is kicking off in early August. So you got plenty of time to put a team together.
Right on. Bush League Season 2, Bush League Season 1 is going to be coming to a close, and Season 2 is going to be right around the corner. There is a survey that we sent out via Twitter. We can tweet it out again via Trolls GG and Trollin HGC if you guys are interested in participating in Bush League Season 2. There's a couple questions there you can answer. It's real quick. I think it's 2-3 questions.
Yeah, it really doesn't take long at all.
Yeah.
Definitely fill it out if you're interested.
Yeah, if you're interested in it and playing it. That way they can come up with some dates, some times, some formats, things like that. But get involved.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. That's all the amateur stuff. I think that's everything. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send us out, boys. Thank you all for listening to Trollin HGC, a weekly podcast about Heroes of the Storm eSports, member of the Trolls.gg Entertainment Network. We stream live on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TrollsGG, every week, Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Bahgz, where can people find you?
Guys, listeners, viewers, readers.
Reading in 2018.
Guys, you can follow me. If you can follow me on Twitter, I'm Bahgz, at Bahgz HGC. You can watch me stream on twitch.tv/Bahgz. Not really streaming right now, but go ahead and give it a follow. That'll happen once the house that I'm trying to build is built. You also all more than welcome to join us for after show games. I can't speak for Goon or LiQuiuD if they'll be around after the show tonight, but I will be available for a couple games. So hit me up in game, and we'll be there. /TrollsGG. We'll get a couple in. That's where you can find me. Goon, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at GOONHOTS, twitch.tv/GOONHOTS. Stream, I play games, play on the PTR, streamed PTR yesterday, looking to do some more, I guess, building this new hero URL, and also studying the new map, and as well as potential strategies that can be developed on that map. Also, I am on the Nexus Trolls podcast, which airs every Thursday evening at Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. That's the show.
Wait, dude. That doesn't work. Do you mean 9 p.m., 6 p.m.?
I'm sorry, 9 p.m., 6 p.m. What did I say?
9 p.m., 7. I was like, wait, math is wrong.
I'm thinking Arizona time. We don't change. So, it's... Yeah. Even though right now I'm still Pacific. But anyways. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. That's a show with Soken and Aramis. We're going to be talking about obviously PTR patch notes and discussing some of these strategies potentially that we've been studying the maps and stuff, the map and whatnot. It's a good show. Come hang out, learn a thing or two about HOTS and how to develop your mindset in improving. And I think there was something else that I wanted to mention. But after show games. I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody has the PTR downloaded. I would like to play on the PTR if you have it downloaded. If not, that's fine. We can play regular after show games. I'll be around.
You know what? Here's the thing, right? Thursday, definitely PTR. tweet it, and people overflow people that watch both shows Thursday. If not tonight, definitely Thursday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Thursday PTR.
I mean, try it tonight too. I'm not saying don't try it tonight. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I gotta get that Alterac Valley.
Throw that down, you know, because it's sick. That map is sick.
I can't wait. Sorry.
DB, where can people find you?
Twitter.com/DeathBySmiley, and that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna be streaming anytime soon, so
okay.
I'm taking a break from casting just because of time and life and that. So
Heroes Hearth.
Yeah, so I won't be casting season 5. I might be playing, but I won't be casting.
No, but are you still gonna be? You're still gonna be posting on Heroes Hearth.
Oh yeah,
too,
well,
though.
I'll still be posting on Heroes Hearth when I can. I have kind of fallen off on that a lot, just again my job and stuff. But you can follow me there. Heroes Hearth, just DBSmiley. HeroesHearth.com/m/DBSmiley apparently.
Yep.
I guess the M might just be for the mobile. Let me take
No, the M is the real URL.
Okay, the M does have to be there.
The systems guy in me twitches every time I see that URL. I
right.
love Heroes Hearth. I love you, Workhorse, but that M makes me it.
If I took the M out, the link still worked. So
does it? Oh, that's good to know because that drives me nuts.
So heroeshearth.com/DBSmiley.
Awesome. Awesome. And you can follow me on Twitter at LiQuidGG. I tweet whenever I'm about to do anything or have any weird things I want to share with people because that's what I do. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters, especially our 2 chieftains, the original OG chieftain Super Dave and our brand new chieftain Preston. Without you guys, we would have less swag to give away at BlizzCon. Thank you. You can follow us on Twitter at Trollin HGC for show announcements and Heroes of the Storm news. Find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/TrollsGG. Subscribe to our show on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. Send us feedback. Let us know how we're doing, whether that's on one of the show pages, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's an email, trollin@trolls.gg. We'll take your feedback however you can get it to us because we love to hear from you guys. You can also DM us on Twitter. They're always open at Trollin HGC. Thank you for joining us. As always, DBSmiley, it's always fun to get preview stuff done with you because you have some good insights and you have your math models to back them up. Not like
even though I spent like half the time explaining why I thought they were wrong. Oh, well.
Right. Hey, you know what? It happens. It happens. There's good reasons for it, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna knock that. So, that's better than the NA versus NA Grand Final someone came up with. I'm not gonna mention any names. So, thank you all for watching.
Listen to your heart.
Wait,
I love you guys, and I love doing this show.
You just wait and see. I'm getting the last word before we leave. You just wait and see. All right.
Listen to your heart.
All right.
All right. We'll see you in the next.
See ya.